Hello friends, welcome back to GK Sports India YouTube channel, and this is your regular and favorite the Kumbi Jiku show, where player-turned-umpire K. Srinath and I, sports journalist G. Krishnan, will review India's victory in the T20 series just concluded against South Africa, 3-1 being the scoreline, India winning the last T20 by 31 runs after it was 2-1 in favor of India, with the fourth match in Lucknow being abandoned because of not rain, not excessive heat, but because of fog. To discuss all this and much more, welcome Sri. How have you been? And 3-1 India, a fair result and confidence going into the World Cup, which is about 50 days away.
Thank you, Jiku. Absolutely. More or less result on the expected lines, mentioning that the reason is India have done extremely well in the last 18 to 24 months, particularly in this format under the captaincy of Surya Kumar Yadav. Unfortunate that we didn't have a ball bowled and no game in Lucknow, which certainly robbed the fans of getting to watch their favorite stars in close quarters. And of course, signing off with a clinical performance in the final T20I at Ahmedabad, where we expected a run feast, and yes, both the teams scoring in excess of 200. And at the end of the day, India winning comprehensively by 30 runs. 30 runs in a T20I is a pretty big margin, and pocketing the series 3-1. A few more T20Is to be played before the World Cup. Certainly, this would give them a lot of confidence. And whatever experimenting they have done so far, I think they would have come to a conclusion now to decide upon what is the squad of 15 they're looking at for the World Cup, plus name 5 players as their standbys in the event of any injury to any particular player in the 15-member squad. Overall, yes, apt result, and really happy for the way the Indian boys played in this particular series.
Yes, and it's 5 more matches to be precise for India against New Zealand in January before they head off to the World Cup, where they will be defending the title. Sri, before going into the takeaways for India from this T20 series, we saw that unique result of match abandoned being abandoned due to fog in Lucknow. A strange scenario where knowingly well that it is going to be extreme winter in these parts of the country, Lucknow, Central India, Northern India. What would you make of this scheduling matches, especially in winter in North? And have you had any such experience officiating in matches with fog being the major or having the major say in any match that you have done?
Well, it's not been a case in my career as an umpire wherein I've seen a complete game being disrupted due to fog. We've had a couple of occasions, maybe 7-8 years back, where 2 games were called off without a ball being bowled due to fog and smog in the northern part of the country. That were first-class matches. Post that, the BCCI took a stance wherein they tried avoiding posting matches in these part of the country, wherein games could be affected due to bad weather, and the boys would be robbed of game time. Having said that, they were very well aware, but what slipped their mind, I'm not too sure about. And later on, I think we did hear a rejoinder and a statement from the Vice President, Mr. Rajiv Shukla, saying that it caught them totally unaware, and the weather was certainly, terrible, which they also didn't expect. Mind you, the viewers need to understand one thing. It's just not about the visibility for a batter to sight the ball coming out of the bowler's hand. If you did have a look at that particular game, the dhari was not even removed off the pitch. That means there was a lot of dew that was falling, which could have affected the pitch in a big way. Plus, when the umpires were trying to look around at the boundary, even the fielders in the deep need to get a sighter of the ball. So it's just not about conditions behind the bowler's arm where the batters can get a sighter. It's about the overall ground wherein even the fielders in the 30-yard circle or in the boundary line also need to get a sighter. So if that's why the umpires felt it was pretty dangerous, because they were not able to pick the ball, which forced them to abandon the game without being a ball bowled. Maybe yes. Again, we all learn by the day. Every game is a learning curve. Per se, it could be in terms of players, officials, or administrators. So hopefully next time around, when there is a tour that is planned, hopefully we don't get to see such things happen, and not many games are posted in such venues. If at all, maybe it can be a day game, but unfortunate, it was a night game, a T20I, which the players as well as the spectators were robbed off.
Sri, not only were the spectators robbed of maybe a high-scoring match, because Lucknow is known to produce one such high-scoring ones, but also Sanju Samson was robbed of one extra important match because of the impact injury to the right foot of Shubman Gill. But still, when he got the match or the chance to play in the fifth T20, he did make an impact, opening with Abhishek Sharma. And also, he was good behind the stumps, wasn't he?
Absolutely. One player in the last 10 years, especially in this particular format, it could be one day or T20 cricket, I've seen living and dying by the sword, has been Sanju. He's been an enigma as far as Indian cricket goes, be it his own performances. He always, opens up a can of worms when he gets to play. He just, has only two methods to cricket. It's either, his own way or the highway. So more or less, he's somebody who's similar, in the likes of his contemporary, the guy with the same skill set, Rishabh Pant, who unfortunately has not been a part of white ball cricket in the recent past, who does very similar acts in Test match cricket. I mean, it's heart in the mouth always when you see players like these come out to bat and perform. With that in mind, Sanju did get a game at last. Even the broadcast comms were pretty vocal when they said, "How could this guy sit out?" Having made 3 TOI hundreds in the last 1 year, and he looks good balls look so innocuous. I think that's the sort of ability and talent Sanju possesses. At some point in time, he's not getting younger any by the day. He's 31, 32, and he's had a long stint with white ball cricket and with the Indian team in blues. So it's time he rediscovers himself, or he tries to, apply himself more, so that at least in the next 3-4 years, he gets a longer run. Because he's got somebody like Jitesh Sharma breathing down his neck, who was given a couple of games, who did reasonably well. So the toss-up obviously would come between these two. And mind you, if Sanju plays and doesn't get to bat in the top three, that again becomes, talk. It can be debatable, because he's not somebody who's done that role to bat middle, low, down the order, even for his state team. Extremely happy for Sanju. Overall, he was able to contribute not only for himself, again, reliving those old days wherein he forged a fabulous partnership with Abhishek Sharma in the last 18 months. It was fantastic to see a young gun like Abhishek Sharma and the experienced Sanju matching each other shot for shot. That's always, a treat to watch, especially in the power play, in the subcontinent conditions. These two can be the most dangerous, and they can take any quality bowling attack to the cleaners.
And the fifth T20 saw Hardik Pandya go after the South African bowlers, hitting sixes galore. Another half century, crucial one. He started the T20 series with a very useful half century, winning that match, and also finishing off with an equally good half century. How crucial will Hardik Pandya be? And he's been a proven performer in this format, especially. And how crucial will he be when India defend the World Cup in about 2 months' time?
To me, he is the most important cog in the wheel of this Indian setup. 2,000 T20I runs, 100 wickets in T20Is. The third bowler to capture 100 wickets after Arshdeep Singh, Jasprit Bumrah, and Hardik Pandya is the third one. It speaks volumes about his contribution in this particular format of the game. And he's somebody who can bowl with the new ball. He can bowl in the middle overs, take pace off the ball. He can be a handful in the death overs. Similarly, his batting is invaluable to this side. So his return to form, happy to see him regain his fitness. which has always been, an area of concern. That's why a majority of the times he's missed out representing the country has been basically due to his injury concerns. The reason why he opted to stay out of red ball cricket and wanted to focus more on T20 was to ensure he was able to prolong his cricketing career with the Indian setup. I just wish he gets fitter, he stays fit, and if he can get fit and be a part of the Indian ODI setup, and being a bit, I would say, jealous, not jealous actually, too eager to take it forward and say, can he fit into the Indian red ball side? Currently, the form he is in and the fitness he's shown, he is a very, very important player in this setup. Moving forward, India getting into the T20 World Cup.
But speaking of Hardik Pandya and the red ball format, it's very important to know whether he himself wants to be part of the red ball format, because quite a couple of years ago he said he is definitely not looking at that way anyway. But it will be very good for Indian cricket if he plays red ball format. Sri, just wanted to get a view on this particular point. The only match that South Africa won, the second one, where India had to score at 2 runs every ball. There was this phase where Hardik Pandya was scoring at 3 runs every over, which is 2 balls per run or 1 run per 2 ball. What happens in those situations? And that was the only one where India lost. And because I remember very well where India needed to score about 12 runs and over, he was 6 batting of 12 balls. So just what happens in such situations, especially when one who can strike, like we saw and we see often, scoring at, say, even 200 or 300 strike rate?
We need to respect these cricketers. They're not machines. They're not tuned to such a level saying that they come out day in and day out, they can just hit every ball out of the park. Mind you, you're playing against a quality opposition. And when you are chasing a target in excess of 11.5, 12 per over, the start is very, very important. It can be a Hardik Pandya, it can be a Tilak Verma, it can be a Surya Kumar Yadav, whomsoever who's going to come up the order or in the middle order. They need a good base to start off the game. And when you're nothing for under 3 overs, you start looking at trying to forge a partnership and rebuild the innings, which is a highly improbable one because you're playing the shortest format. Whereas in a 50-over format, you've still got the time. You're none for 2 in 3 overs. You can get to 25, 30 for 2 in 10 overs, and you can still manage to get 300 plus. But that's not possible in a T20 game. You need to keep the momentum going. And one of those days where you don't get your timing right, where you try too hard. The key here is how do you balance getting your timing right and impart the same sort of power? That particular game, when I got to watch and was watching Hardik bat, I think he tried too hard, and his forte is not try and go hard at the ball. He's more somebody who relies on timing. Plus, when he gets his timing right, you see those long balls disappear in the crowds. So that's where, in technicality we speak, when you try to generate that sort of raw power, the tendency is more or less, you often lose your shape. So when you lose your shape, the balance doesn't stay, you don't get your timing right. So it's more of a technical, adjustment. I would say that was a game where India would just like to forget it in a hurry. Because, again, I would like to reiterate, you're playing a top quality T20 side, which India defeated in the last World Cup finals in West Indies. So mind you need to give it to them. It's just not like you're playing some minnows, where you're expected to steamroll them and have a result which is 5-0. India played extremely well in the series, and deservingly, the result is on their side with a 3-1 victory in this series.
And we continue to watch Surya Kumar Yadav struggle for the kind of runs that he is known to, and he has finished 2025 in the worst average of his T20 career at just 13.63 in 21 matches, 19 innings, with only 218 runs and not even a single 50, which is atypical of Surya Kumar Yadav. Hopefully, the new year sees Surya Kumar Yadav back to his run scoring form, and that is very, very important because India will require his voluminous runs if they are to defend the title in India, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's been a cause of concern and a bit worrisome. Normally, we don't associate any sort of technical adjustments that need to be made to a batter, especially when they're playing this particular format. But Surya, we know his prowess in the past as to how was blossomed as a player, taking like a fish to water in this particular format. Maybe one reason what I explore is not batting at a particular number, especially number 3 has been his patent spot when he's played for Mumbai Indians for a very long time, and he's made runs plenty. One good thing is his form with the bat has not weighed down his ability to maneuver his bowlers well and get his field placements right. Overall, in the last year or so, India has won 7 series on a trot, be it in Australia, in South Africa, or defending at home. So that's been one good thing that Surya has been able to let go of his batting form when he's come on the field to maneuver the resources. Again, his form with the bat going into the World Cup is going to be very, very important for this Indian side. It's just a couple of balls that can change the momentum and the result of a T20 game, which somebody like a Surya is known to do. He's done it in the past. Again, the statement of one hit away. In fact, post the game, I think he himself mentioned Surya, the batter, has not arrived. It's just time for him to make a strong statement. But that's a good sign wherein it's tough in modern day cricket, wherein people acknowledge the fact that they've not done well. They need to pull up their socks and say, yes, we need to contribute with the bat. You could be the captain of the side. You could be the number 1 player. You could be the vice captain. End of the day, when the team is doing well, accountability to do well with the bat also comes in on the captain's shoulders, which is accepted in open. We just hope, as you mentioned, new year, new dawn arises, and maybe we can see the dawn in Surya Kumar Yadav come back to his old form, the 360-degree player he's known for. And New Zealand series would be a very, very important one for him to strike his rich vein of old form, which he's known to.
And one Indian player in particular who bowled like a dawn was Varun Chakravarti, with him being the only bowler in the entire series from either team to take wickets in double digits. Varun Chakravarti, and he's one who is just can't do any wrong. Can he?
I'm happy for Varun in one way is he knows his limitations as to what he can deliver, when, how, and where. So he's focused on white ball cricket, especially in this particular format. Day in and day out, he's tried out different variations. His main forte has been his consistency. The lengths he hits, the areas he bowls. And mind you, he's an engineer and he's an architect. So he creates those angles, not only off the field with drawings, but also he can replicate those with the ball on hand. That's an area, a very thinking cricketer, somebody whom I would say on a very similar lines like Ravichandran Ashwin, was a master in his craft, and somebody who made the ball talk, was Ravi Ashwin. So very happy for Varun because striking form and running into that sort of rich form, and when you get into a mega event, and that's very important, and it augurs well for this particular Indian unit. All bases have been covered with Harshit Rana and Arshdeep doing extremely well with the new ball. The form of Hardik Pandya has been very good. Of course, we've got the number 1 bowler in the world in Bumrah. Varun Chakravarti has done extremely well. He's indispensable as of now in this current Indian setup. And mind you, with Akshar Patel, as he gets well soon, and an informed Kuldeep Yadav, I think this bowling attack is more than a handful. And if I've not mentioned Washi, I'm not a selection committee member, but if he's going to be a part of this setup, I think India has got all bases covered, and majority of them in this these names which I've mentioned are all-rounders.
So certainly with this kind of team that India has, we expect them to defend the title successfully, because no team has defended a T20 World Cup ever before. So hopefully Surya Kumar Yadav is that captain who helps India win back-to-back T20 World Cup. On that note, thank you very much, Sri. Wonderful thoughts and brilliant insights into India's T20 setup as a whole. And see you soon as the World Cup squad, Indian team World Cup squad, is announced at the earliest. So thank you very much, and do subscribe to this channel, do like, and do spread this channel around with your contacts. See you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you, Sri. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.